My friends used to call me Chainsaw. That's how bad I snored. It was a joke when we'd go camping or skiing because I always got the private room after the first night because everyone wanted to sleep. I was diagnosed in 1992 with apnea, and at that time the big thing was laser surgery. It worked for a couple years, and then it came back. And I had gone and finally had another sleep study done and got into CPAP, and one thing I realized, and I learned the hard way, after a very expensive machine was purchased by me and my insurance, was that about 70% of people cannot tolerate a CPAP. It's like having a compressor hooked up to you all night long with this tube, like a snorkel all over. It can be claustrophobic, and it's just hard to get a good night's sleep. So we have dental appliances. There are many different dental appliances, and you need someone that understands orthodontics and growth and development and how bones change, because some appliances can actually cause a change in your bite and your jaw structure, and you may be forward in a position when you're sleeping at night and you take out your appliance, and that's how you are. People that don't know what they're dealing with when they treat sleep apnea have had major issues with treatment complications. I have several different devices and ways that I work, and we've actually gotten people with severe apnea, which typically is going to be treated with a CPAP only. The medical community says moderate to mild apnea can be treated with appliances. I have a lot of patients with severe apnea that cannot tolerate their CPAP, and we can get them down to the point where they're just snoring and maybe a few episodes, but they're sleeping well, they feel a lot better, the vigor in life is there, you know, the fog goes away. That's what it's like when you have apnea. You feel like you've stumbled and you're going to run downhill and crash and burn, and you see your nose getting closer and closer to the ground, and you just want to sleep and wake up and it's over.